Alright, so I am going to bring y'all this high calorie pudding. This can, it's a great dessert. It's legit tasty. Could be a meal replacement because it's pretty dense and pretty low calorie too. And you can kind of razzle dazzle and get creative with it, but I'm just going to show you a quick version right here. And just for what it's worth, I don't care so much about like artificial ingredients. They don't scare me, or I'm not a seed oil worrier, etc. That said, I do eat mostly whole foods, but things like these from time to time in your regular diet are perfectly fine in my non-medical opinion. So let's get started. So there we have 2 cups of Fairlife fat-free milk. Now I've added the entire contents of this sugar-free, fat-free Jello vanilla pudding mix. Powder in there, all powdery like. If you know, you know. Now I've added 1 scoop of a peanut butter chocolate whey protein powder from a company that does not pay me, so I'm not going to advertise for them for free. Even though Jello doesn't pay me either. Oops. But as it sits right now, camera's a little dirty. That better? A little bit better. I'm not gonna edit that out. As it sits right now, you are looking at 160, 260, 380 calories, and maths are hard. 48 grams of protein. And you can just mix that up in your shaker cup and pour it into a bowl and let it set, and it'll be good. It'll be ready in like 5 or 10 minutes. You can go take a shower or whatever, and that's a great calorie to protein ratio, and again, it comes out pretty dense. I am going to use this as a meal replacement tonight, so I'm going to add a little bit more razzle dazzle to it. So I've added 2 tablespoons of ground flax meal. There's the macros. So we got the protein count up to 50. We added a little bit of fats in there to it. There wasn't any fat so far. And omega-3s. And I like the texture of the ground flax meal. It adds a little bit of graininess to it, which I enjoy. You may or may not enjoy that. But you could add like hemp hearts, chia seeds. Chia seeds you would want to add a little bit more liquid because they add to some of the thickness. But that's a possibility too. I got one more thing I'm going to throw in here. So I added 2 tablespoons of powdered peanut butter. So we added another couple grams of fat and 8 more grams of protein. So we're up to 58 grams of protein now. Only 6.5 grams of fat. This is still very low fat. And we're at 500 calories. So 500 calories and 50 grams of protein is a pretty solid ratio. And honestly, like, depending upon your needs, this is much more of a calorie saver, dessert and or meal type of thing for me. But you could certainly razzle dazzle this up to make it more calorically dense. However, given just the consistency of pudding and how it kind of fills you up, this is certainly more of the poverty macro team, if you will. But there's one thing left to do, I guess. All right, after 3 minutes of vigorous shaking, because that's all you're good for. That's what she said. Giggity giggity. You can pop the top, pour it out, and you'll see it's already extremely thick. Just how Daddy likes. I'm actually going to take the top completely off and pour this out off camera for nostalgia purposes. If you don't know about that, your grandma sucked. So finish it off. Where you can see 2 cups, and it'll thicken a little bit more as it rests. I'm just going to throw some cinnamon on top because I like cinnamon. There's alleged health benefits to cinnamon. I just think it's fucking delicious. And if there are health benefits from it, then hooray. If not, I'm going to continue to eat it because it's delicious. Now I want to reiterate just that base, the 2 cups of fat-free Fairlife with the 1 packet of sugar-free Jello pudding. That is going to give you 360 calories and 26 grams of protein, just the base. So that's already really good. And like I said, you throw in a scoop of your favorite whey, and it's going to vary a little bit, but then you've really got a protein-packed powerhouse ratio of calories to protein for a dessert. With the one I made, it's chocolate peanut butter. You could certainly, if you're needing calories or carbs, this is very low carb, low fat. You can throw on some bananas or something like that. You can pair it with fruits. You could throw like some chocolate chips on it, some sprinkles, etc. Whatever you need to suit your needs. But again, this is more a lower calorie poverty macro, if you will, dessert thing that you can interject here and there at your leisure to kind of satisfy a bit of a sweet tooth, and while still having absolutely immaculate macros. And then depending upon what you add into it, you can get some pretty decent micros in there as well. That's the micronutrients on just the Fairlife milk that's in this. So multiply all those RDAs by 2, and this actually has a pretty legit micronutrient profile with just the base. Well, if you're worried about that with a freaking dessert, and this is not really much of a compromise, to be honest with you. Like, this tastes legitimately delicious. Macros and all that stuff aside, it's just delicious. So just remember that base. There's different flavors of the sugar-free pudding. There's obviously different flavors of protein powders. You can mix match, throw whatever extra razzle dazzle in there to suit your needs, and just get creative with it, man. Peace. And after, I don't know, about 4 hours of setting, trying to one-hand it there's the final product, final consistency. I guess it's time for the money shot.